The studio lights are bright, the audience buzzing with anticipation, and the guests are usually ready for a warm, if sometimes spicy, chat. Today, Samuel L. Jackson strides onto the set, his signature Kangol hat tilted just right, here to talk about his new film. He's a Hollywood titan, a man whose voice alone can command a room, and the crowd's ready for his stories. His laugh may be a classic motherfucker, QUIP, but as he sits down, there's a chill in the air, a subtle shift that makes the applause feel hollow. Whoopi Goldberg's smile is tight, her eyes sharp, like she's got a plan that's not on the cue cards. This isn't going to be a friendly catch-up. This is a showdown, and by the end, one of them will walk away, leaving the stage and a legacy in pieces. Whoopi, beaming, but her voice has an edge. Samuel L. Jackson, everybody. Come on, give it up. The crowd cheers as Jackson settles in, nodding. Man, Samuel, it's great to have you. For decades in this game, still making movies at 75, that's something. But, some folks might wonder if it's time to let the younger crowd take the spotlight, right? When they stop showing up, I'll stop showing up. Simple as that. Whoopi, leaning forward, her tone sharpening. But don't you think there's something to knowing when to step aside? I mean, how many more tough guy roles can one man play? The audience shifts, sensing the jab. Joy Behar glances at her notes, trying to steer things, but Whoopi's locked. In Jackson, his voice stays calm, but there's a spark. Tough guy roles. I play what the story needs, Whoopi. Or you, Whoopi, smirking, undeterred. Sure, but let's talk about those choices. You keep picking roles that lean into violence, stereotypes, that angry black man vibe. As a black actor, don't you feel a responsibility to do better? The crowd goes quiet, the air heavy. Jackson's jaw tightens, his eyes narrowing. Jackson, his voice low, dangerous. Hold up, you're sitting there, on national TV, questioning my choices. Saying I'm betraying my people because of the roles I pick. You serious right now? When young black kids see you on screen, what message are you sending? That's a real question, and viewers deserve an answer. Jackson, leaning forward, his tone icy. Let me get this straight. Whoopi, you're accusing me of harming my community with my work. My message is that a black man can be a star, not a stereotype. What's your message, sitting there judging me? The audience gasps, some murmuring. Joy Behar tries to jump in. Joy, okay, maybe let's talk about the new movie Whoopi, cutting her off. No, Joy, we're having a real conversation. Samuel, I'm not judging. I'm asking why you keep playing into Hollywood's worst impulses about black men. Jackson, his voice rises, sharp. Hollywood's impulses. You want to talk impulses? How about Sister Act 2, or comic relief? Where was your big stand against stereotypes then? You don't get to question my integrity when you've played the game too, Whoopi. The crowd's buzzing now, caught between shock and awe. Whoopi's face flushes, but she doesn't back down. Whoopi, don't flip this on me, Samuel. This is about your choices, your impact. You've made millions playing characters that glorify violence. That's on you, Jackson, standing, his presence towering. I've spent 40 years proving a black actor can carry any genre, open doors, mentor others. My impact is kids seeing they can be more than what Hollywood tells them. You want to talk responsibility? I've been responsible for my craft, my people, my legacy. What are you responsible for, Whoopi, besides pointing fingers? The studio's electric, the tension thick enough to choke on. This isn't a chat show anymore, it's a battleground, and Samuel L. Jackson's just getting started. The view set feels like a pressure cooker, the air crackling with every word. Samuel L. Jackson stands tall, his eyes locked on Whoopi Goldberg, who's gripping her chair like it's her anchor. The audience is silent, caught in a moment that spiraled far beyond a movie plug. This is raw, personal, a clash of two titans who've known each other for years, but are now tearing into each other like strangers. The other hosts, Joy, Sunny, Cyrillic, like they're trapped in a storm, unsure how to steer it, triad. The cameras keep rolling, catching every heated word, every flash of anger. This is no longer daytime TV, fluff. It's a fight for respect, legacy, and truth. And it's about to get uglier. Jackson, his voice booming, controlled. You want to talk? Impact, Whoopi. My impact is 40 years of fighting for roles that show black talent can do anything: action, drama, comedy. I've opened doors for kids who look like me. Whoopi, her voice sharp, defiant. Don't act like you're the only one fighting, Samuel. I've been in this game as long as you, pushing for representation, for equality. But your roles, those angry, violent characters, what do they say to young black men? That's all I'm asking. Jackson, his tone cuts like a blade. You're not asking, Whoopi, you're accusing. You think you know better than me what my people need. I've been living this reality, not preaching about it from a talk show set. The audience murmurs, some nodding, others frozen. Joy tries to pivot. Joy, Samuel, your new film sounds amazing. Maybe we can, Whoopi cutting her off. Fierce. No, Joy, we're not. Dodging this? Samuel, your choices matter. You play these roles, gun-toting, loud, angry, and you think that doesn't shape how people see us? You're a role model, whether you like it or not. Jackson, his eyes blaze, a role model. Damn right I am. I show kids they can be the lead, not the sidekick. I show them they can command a screen, a stage, a story. You think my roles are the problem. The problem's the system that limits what we can play. I broke that system, Whoopi. What have you broken lately? The crowd gasps, the tension suffocating. Whoopi leans forward, her voice rising. Whoopi, I've been breaking barriers since you were doing off-Broadway, Samuel. Don't come for me like I haven't fought the same fight. But your roles, they lean into stereotypes. They make it easy for Hollywood to keep us in a box. Jackson, his voice drops, dangerous stereotypes. The real people I've met, lived with, grown up with. You're sitting there in your fancy chair telling me I'm betraying my own story. That's not a question, that's an attack. Sunny, nervous, trying to diffuse. Okay, let's take a breath. Maybe talk about Jackson, cutting her off. Eyes locked on Whoopi. No, Sunny, she started this. Let's finish it. You want to talk stereotypes, Whoopi? How about the stereotype of the black woman who's got to tear down her own to feel relevant? That's what you're doing right now. The audience gasps louder, some clapping, others whispering. Whoopi's face flushes, her hands shaking. Whoopi, you don't get to turn this on me, Samuel. I'm asking real questions about your legacy. About what you're leaving behind? You can't just dodge that with charm and a hat. Jackson. Stepping closer, his voice thunderous. Dodge. I don't dodge nothing. I've been in this game 40 years, proving a black man can be a star, not a caricature. You want to talk legacy? My legacy is every kid who sees my work and knows they can be more. What's your legacy, Whoopi, besides judging me on live TV? The studio's a powder keg, every word a spark. The producers must be scrambling, but the cameras don't blink. This is a fight for respect, and it's far from over. The DeVue set is a battlefield, the air thick with raw emotion. Samuel L. Jackson towers over the stage, his presence commanding, his words cutting through the silence like a knife. The audience is spellbound, caught in a moment that's no longer about a movie or a talk show. It's about pride, legacy, and who gets to define a career. The other hosts are frozen, unsure how to stop this train wreck, while the cameras capture every second of the unraveling. This is personal, fierce, and the kind of TV that'll be replayed for years. Jackson, his voice steady, but fierce. You want to talk legacy, Whoopi? Let's talk about what I've built. I came up in a world that said black actors get the sidekick. Roles the one-liners. I said, no, give me the lead. I carried films, broke records, showed kids like me they could dream bigger. You're out here calling me a problem. You've got no idea what I've fought for. Whoopi, her voice sharp, defensive. I know exactly what you fought for, Samuel. I fought it too. But your choices, those roles you pick, they glorify violence, anger. They make it harder for the next generation to break out of that box. Jackson, his tone icy. You think you get to judge my choices? I play real people, complex, flawed human, not stereotypes, but stories from the streets I grew up on. You're sitting there, acting like you know my community better than me. Who gave you that right, Whoopi? The crowd's silent, some nodding, others stunned. Sarah tries to intervene. Sarah, maybe we can talk about the new film's message? Whoopi, cutting her off, fierce. No, Sarah, we're talking about this. Samuel, you're a role model. Those roles you play, they shape how people see us. You can't pretend that doesn't matter. Jackson, his voice rises, commanding. Matter? My whole career matters. I've shown the world a black man can be a hero, a villain, a father, a king. I've got range you can't touch. You want to talk about shaping views? I shaped a whole damn industry. What have you shaped besides this attack? The audience murmurs, some clapping. Whoopi's face tightens, her hands trembling. Whoopi, don't act like I haven't fought the same battles. I've been pushing for us since you were still in theater. But your roles, they lean into what Hollywood wants, the angry black man. That's not progress. Jackson, stepping closer, his voice booming. Progress. I am progress. I am progress. I took roles nobody else would touch, made them iconic. You think I'm Hollywood's puppet? I rewrote the script, Whoopi. You're out here rewriting my life to fit your narrative. Joy, desperate. Okay, let's take a commercial break. Jackson, cutting her off, eyes blazing. No break. Joy. She started this fire. Let it burn. You want to talk about narratives? Whoopi, how about the narrative that you're the moral compass of Black Hollywood? You don't speak for me or my people. You speak for yourself. The crowd gasps, the tension unbearable. Whoopi stands, her voice shaking. Whoopi, I'm speaking for the kids who see your roles and think that's all they can be. I'm speaking for the community you claim to represent. Jackson, his voice drops deadly. Don't you dare claim my community. I've lived their struggles, told their stories, opened their doors. You're using this stage to tear me down? Not lift anyone up. That's not representation. That's resentment. The studio's a war zone. Every word, a grenade. This is a fight for truth, and it's nowhere near done. The view stage is a crucible. Every word forging a moment that'll echo for years. Samuel L. Jackson stands at the edge, his eyes burning into Whoopi Goldberg, who's clutching her chair, her polished persona in tatters. The audience is silent, hanging on every syllable, knowing they're witnessing history. This isn't a talk show anymore, it's a reckoning, a clash of egos, legacies, and truths. The other hosts are paralyzed, the cameras relentless, capturing the raw fury of two giants who've known each other for decades, but are now strangers at war. This is about power, respect, and who gets to write the story of a legend's life. Jackson, his voice quiet but heavy. You know what your problem is, Whoopi? You think you're the judge of Black Hollywood, the one who decides who's doing it right or wrong. But you're not. You're just a host with a grudge, using this show to take shots at me. Whoopi, her voice trembling, defiant. This isn't a grudge, Samuel. It's accountability. Your roles, those violent, angry characters, they hurt us. They keep us in a box Hollywood loves. You don't get to dodge that, Jackson, his tone fierce, unyielding. Dodge? I don't dodge nothing. I've spent 40 years breaking that box, showing we can be anything heroes, villains, legends, legends. You're out here saying, I hurt my people? You don't know my people. You don't know my fight. The crowd claps, some shouting support, Whoopi's. Face is red, her hands shaking. Whoopi, I know the fight, Samuel. I've lived it. But your choices, they tell young black men, they've got to be angry, loud, violent to be seen. That's not breaking barriers, that's reinforcing them, Jackson. His voice booms, reinforcing. I've been the barrier breaker since day one. I took roles that scared others, made them real, made them human. You want to talk messages? My message is a black man can own the screen, not just stand on it. What's your message, Whoopi? Tearing me down to feel bigger. The audience erupts, unable to hold back. Joy tries one last time. Joy, okay, Samuel, let's talk about Jackson. Cutting her off, eyes locked on Whoopi. No. Joy. She wanted this fight. She's got it. You think this is about accountability. This is personal. You've been waiting years to take this shot. Whoopi, why? What's eating you? Whoopi, standing, her voice cracking. It's not personal, it's about responsibility. You've got a platform, Samuel. Your roles shape how the world sees us. You can't just say it's art and walk away. Jackson, his voice drops, devastating. Art, it's my life. My roles are the people I know, the struggles I've lived. You're not holding me accountably or settling a score. Invited me here to humiliate me, not to talk. That's not responsibility, that's ego. The studio's silent, the air heavy. Jackson starts to unclip his mic. Deliberate.com. Whoopi. Desperate. You don't have to leave. Samuel. We can finish this, right, Jackson? Dropping the mic on the chair. Finish what? An ambush. You didn't want a conversation, you wanted a takedown. I've got too much self-respect to play your game. He turns, heading for the exit. The crowd holds its breath. Whoopi yelling after him, walk away, Samuel. That's what you do, run from anything that challenges your perfect image. Jackson, stopping, not turning back. I'm not running, Whoopi. I'm walking away from your dysfunction. I've built a legacy that'll outlast us both 40 years. Of proving we're more than your stereotypes. You just burned a bridge for a moment of TV glory. Good luck with that. Jackson walks off, the silence deafening. Whoopi sits, stunned, as the cameras linger before cutting to commercial. The audience doesn't know whether to clap or sit in shock. This was a battle for respect, and Samuel L. Jackson walked away a legend. So, what do you think? Was Samuel L. Jackson right to walk off the View set? Or should he have stayed and continued the interview? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more stories that reveal what really happens when the cameras are rolling and the gloves come off. Because in Hollywood, sometimes the most revealing moments happen when people think nobody's watching. But in this case, everybody.